TV! What's going on, guys? It's your boy Rody. I'm back for episode 4 of my Flash Series 3 review of each episode. So we're going to get into the next one called The New Rogues. Alright guys, so welcome back. Sorry I missed episode 3, man. I had a lot going on down here, so I wasn't able to get the episode out. But I'm sure you've seen it, and if you haven't, there's plenty of people that did a review of it. But we on to episode 4 called The New Rogues. And pretty much, this is following up from the events of the last episode. And we're seeing an introduction of one of the Flash's most prominent villains, Mirror Master. And he's a major villain in the Rogues, which is the Flash's main villains. And I was excited about this because this is probably one of his most, exclusive villains next to, Reverse Flash. So his introduction is he was affected by the explosion that caused Flash to get his powers, and he was locked in a mirror for 3 years. So he comes back again, don't know how, because all they did was lift the mirror up, and all of a sudden he's awake and he can come out because the mirror was just laying on the ground and he had no response to anything. So that was kind of weird how they tied that in, but who cares? It's a comic book show, so decided to keep going. So his whole thing is to find Captain Cold, and he's trying to find him and exact revenge because he's the reason that he got beat up in the first place, and he was trying to escape the life of crime and just live with his girl. So that's his main motivation throughout the episode, is finding him. And that's okay, and I think that was a good motivation to kind of keep him pushing, because a lot of the focus was on the relationship between Barry and Iris, and them starting to actually be open with it in front of Joe, who's kind of awkward in the fact, it's kind of like his daughter and his son becoming one in love. It's a little awkward. You can see the awkwardness, and I think they did a good job showing the uncomfortableness of them, as well as just being open and letting everybody know, we're grown. Everybody's trying to get in relationships. You got Iris and Barry, then you got Joe and the security officer from another department that's helping him out in the case, and then you got Jesse and you got Kid Flash, I forgot his name. You got them two getting into a little bit of a relationship thing. So you got everybody starting to come together and get a little more adult, which I think is kind of cool, touching on those tones, trying to develop a little bit more connections outside of just Barry and Iris. One big thing that ties in from the previous episode is that Jesse and Harrison Wells are back, and I think they did a cool job with changing up his character just a little bit. They've got him a little bit more of a humorous, free spirit type, kind of like they have Cisco. He's cracking a little bit more jokes. He's a little bit more fun. And I enjoy that because I know him from previous shows, and I know that he has the characteristics to be all kinds of type of people aside from just that stone cold serious person. So this episode really touched on him being a little bit more than just the straightforward Harrison Wells, and that touched on when they were going through the dimensions trying to find a different Harrison Wells to be in their dimension with Earth 1. So they were going through all the different Harrison Wells and had the jokesters and the goofy ones, and they finally found somebody who fit the mold that was a little bit different but still had the knowledge and characteristics that they kind of gravitated for. So that was a cool aspect of the show. They then transitioned into him finally finding out that Mirror Master was just robbing banks and taking over money. So he decides to bring Jessie with him, who is now a speedster like from the episode before, and she's trying to get her powers under control and learn from Flash, and she ends up causing Flash to get stuck in a mirror by the Mirror Master because she's getting trapped by Vertigo and the other girl that's powerful. So that was kind of corny because I felt like she caused too much issues too quick, and I think they just jumped her into the forefront of having power, so now she's just going to be all up with Flash. I felt like they kind of put that up there too quick, but again, they got a long series, so I guess they're just trying to get a lot of stuff developed. So now they're trying to figure out how to get Barry Allen out of the glass, and they come to figure out that they got to super freeze it to get his friction through the mirror, since it's a certain speed that has to get through. And as you know, Caitlin is, she's frost power, so they don't realize it yet, so she uses her powers to super freeze the mirror to get Barry out. Now, prior to this, I did come across a scene where it seems to be a recurring event that in order for Barry to figure out something, he has to talk to Iris, and they have to have either a really in-depth love conversation or really in-depth conversation about feelings for him to click and like, oh, I figured something out. And that's what happened when he actually got the mirror. He figured out how to beat the Mirror Master, which is actually one of my downfalls of this episode I didn't really like, is that with the Mirror Master being such a prominent villain and somebody so big, at least in the comic book span, they got rid of him pretty quick in this one episode. I would have liked for them to kind of keep him going in maybe like 2 episodes kind of induction, because he is such a big deal. His power is so great that they really didn't explain how they were going to capture him, and they captured him extremely quick. You know, I didn't see any struggle with Barry aside from being in the mirror world. I feel like it would have been cool if the Mirror Master would have had him in there and just tortured him or beating him up or throwing him into a dimension where he can't really, you know, see everybody. It was just a lot of cool things they could have done with Mirror Master to keep Barry in like turmoil and, you know, and just causing so much more issues, rather than, you know, putting him in the mirror and letting them take him. So I felt like that was a little goofy, and at the end of the day, you know, he got Mirror Master, he trapped him in some type of weird circular mirror thing at the carnival, which I'm assuming he got the idea from being at carnivals where you get multiple type of reflections by being just one person. So every time he went into a mirror, it spit him back out. I really don't understand the science behind it, but that's how they explained it. He cuffed him and they put him in jail. End of the episode. I guess that was, at this point, my least favorite episode because of how they interacted with Mirror Master. I didn't like how they carried him throughout the story. I felt like they could have did a little bit more with him. I didn't like how they're integrating Jessie Quick in. I think they're doing a little bit too much too soon with her, but, you know, I could be wrong. And again, you know, the whole Iris and Barry love triangle, not even a triangle, just their love relationship, just being a lot of spur into the series episodes. And I don't know, maybe it'll change down the line, but this episode wasn't that great in my opinion. Just a lot of different questions that come up, that things they could have done better, but it's still a good series so far. I mean, out of 4 episodes, you know, 3 are great and this one is So we'll see what the next week's episode got for me. You guys let me know down below what you think of it, and if you're staying current, and you know, we'll see y'all in the next episode. Till then, Showdawee TV out.